Listen, folks, God hates sinners. God's going to kill sinners. He's going to send them to hell and burn them forever. I don't think we have time to play around with the little niceties of your religiosities. There's a God in heaven who made you, and just as sure as cancer exists, God is going to kill you. Folks, this is no game. No time to play around. You are going to reap what you sow. It's going to come back to you. And if you don't care about God, the Bible teaches that in His hand there is a cup of wrath. And what it is strong delusion. And He's going to pour it out and let you believe something that's a lie, cause you to believe the lie, because He's not wanting you in His holy heaven. God is going to cause you to believe a lie so that you'll be damned and not be saved. He speaks in parables so you will not get it, so you will not see it, so you won't be converted. That's some serious stuff right there, folks. God has a chosen group of people who will hear this message and believe it. The sheep know the shepherd's voice. You know I'm telling you the truth. As silly as I am, you know I'm telling you the truth. Somebody here, surely today, will hear the shepherd's call. It's time to quit your sin and love Jesus. He's calling you to walk with Him. It's not time for you to fun and game it. It's time for you to obey God. Eternity is too long to be wrong. This is important. And so I'm going to skip your Baptist question. And I'm going to go to the next question. Starting on the left, and we'll come back over to the right. You, ma'am, are next.
Why don't you like sororities and fraternities?
There's a Christian fraternity.
Are you a Baptist?
Am I Baptist? No.
You go to a Baptist church?
No.
What time?
What's the right
What
answer?
time?
Why does it matter?
Should I make silence them to what is the kind?
He doesn't have an answer
I'm
to that
Methodist.
question without knowing.
The Methodist. I respect that. I mean, the Methodist. You go to the Wesley Foundation? You go to the Wesley Foundation? I respect that. He was the founder of the Methodist Church that did what I do, standing and preaching in the open air like this. Wesley is known for this. The fire that you see on the Methodist symbol represents the fire, the passion that I'm talking about today. God hates sinners, and Wesley knew it.
That wasn't my question.
But I'm saying at least I'm ready to hear your question now. All right, one more time. We're going to talk about fraternities and sororities. Let me tell you. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11 in the New Testament forbids Christians to join fraternities and sororities. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 11. And what it teaches is, any group of people that you come around who claim to be believers, if anybody you meet claims to be a believer, and they are a fornicator or a drunkard,
Why do you think we're...
let me finish. If they claim to be a believer, and they are fornicators and drunkards, either or, there are 3 commandments God gives you in 1 Corinthians 5 of what to do with that person. Number 1, He said don't keep company with them. Number 2, He said don't even eat with them. And number 3, He said put away from yourself that person. Not with people who claim to be believers, who were fornicators and drunkards. That's a different group. A different group. If they claim to be a follower of Christ already, and they're whoring around in these sorority houses,
What if that's not what we're doing?
then the earth is not round.
Why would you think...
It's a sphere. It's round. Circular. It can appear oval from the viewpoint, but it's actually a circle. Folks, if 1 Corinthians 5 forbids you to join this whorehouse, or this fraternal
It's not a
brothel,
whorehouse.
we're talking about fraternity sororities at colleges.
Yeah? You must not have been in a fraternity.
Webster's defines a whorehouse as a house where whores reside. I looked it up in the
That's not a
Douglas.
sorority.
I looked it up. just to be sure that I wasn't saying something inaccurate. People thought they didn't know what I was talking about. I said, what do you mean? There are no whores in your whorehouse? There's no whores in your sorority house?
No.
They're nice ladies.
They are nice ladies.
Ma'am, I got a bridge I can sell you. Matter of fact, I can sell you the Statue of Liberty and give you the deed and the title to it. I'll sell it to you cheap. Listen, folks, to say there's no whores in a sorority house, that's like saying there's no racist in the KKK. Now, granted, there might be a couple that infiltrated in there in the KKK that aren't
They're not
racist.
believers.
But stereotypically, we're talking about the KKK. Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. Hear me, folks. We know that whores are in the sororities. What we don't know is if there are any virgins in the sorority.
Whores are in the churches too. And what if the whores in the sororities? What if the whores in the sororities are not believers? And that changes what you're saying.
Folks, I'm a member of the Southern Baptist Church. I've been a voting member of the Southern Baptist Church since I was a child. I know how Baptists think. I know how Baptists are. And I'm going to tell you what, it'd be better to be a Skid Row bum and have a chance of making it to heaven than to be your typical Southern Baptist who claims to be going to heaven and he's sleeping with sorority Sallies. And matter of fact, if you talk to the preachers of these Baptist churches, you know what they'll tell you? Many of them. They'll say, nobody's perfect. We're all human. Everybody sins against their God. That's just how it is. We're just flesh. Perverts. Hear me. Jesus wasn't human. Jesus had flesh. He didn't sin. And he blazed the trail for us so that we'll quit our sin and become born again. To be a Christian is to be like Jesus. It's Christ-like. It's following in his steps. He didn't walk into and join